and in early November it too was committed to the battle for Guadalcanal as an attachment to the 1st Marine Division. After very heavy fighting during November, the steady arrival of fresh U.S. Army formations finally allowed the exhausted 1st Marine Division to be relieved in place and sent to Australia for rest and rehabilitation. It would take a full year before the division could be ready for recommitment to battle. Then, on New Year's Day, 1943, the 6th Marine Regiment started coming ashore at Guadalcanal. For the first time during the war, the 2nd Marine Division ceased to be a name on paper and became a fighting fact. A forward division command post established just east of the Guadalcanal River directed the division's 4 regiments and combat support battalions throughout the final 4 weeks of offensive operations under the operational control of the Major General Alexander Patch, USA. By early February, the Japanese had succeeded in evacuating what was left of their half-starved army on the island, and Guadalcanal was declared secured. The 6th-month nightmare of slugging it out with the Japanese army under the most adverse conditions of climate and malarial jungle terrain was over. By now, all elements of the division had been baptized by fire and had earned their combat spurs. They had also learned that the Japanese were indeed tough fighters, but not invincible. By the 1st of March, the entire division had reassembled in Wellington, New Zealand, eager to enjoy a well-earned rest and to receive replacements for those who had been killed or wounded in action. Within 10 months, the 2nd Marine Division was back to full strength and once again fit and ready for combat. While the next assault into the Central Pacific was scheduled to be of a shorter duration than the last one, it would prove to be a far more deadly type of fight. The foregoing is merely a backdrop to Colonel Dean Ladd and Steve Weingartner's gripping account of close combat in the Pacific Theater. In November 1940, Dean Ladd was in his 2nd year at Washington State College when his reserve unit was suddenly mobilized and redesignated Company B, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. He thus became a plank owner of the 2nd Marine Division when it was activated at Camp Elliott more than 67 years ago. Except for several months of hospitalization while recuperating from a severe gunshot wound, the author served continuously for more than 3.5 years with 1-8 through all of its World War II overseas deployments and 4 of its 5 major combat assault operations. He served first as a fast-trotting non-commissioned officer on American Samoa, then as a commissioned officer and platoon commander at Guadalcanal, as a rifle platoon commander at Tarawa, and as a platoon commander and company commander at Saipan and Tinian during the Mariana Islands campaign. He therefore saw action in all of the 2nd Marine Division's World War II campaigns except Okinawa. In the preface, Colonel Ladd explains his motivation and purpose in publishing a 2nd book under the same title as his 1993 work. Instead of dwelling on the big picture, as he puts it, with this volume he wanted to impart a more personal and immediate account of the war in the Pacific, one that would illuminate the valor and the sacrifices of the Marines who took part in the fighting. I believe the listeners of this 2nd version of Faithful Warriors will agree that Dean Ladd and his co-author, Steven Weingartner, have achieved that aim superbly. Writing in an easy, crisp style, the authors paint a potent and vivid picture of some of the most fiercely contested amphibious assaults and most savage fighting to take place in the Pacific. The view is always seen from the eyes of those who had the unenviable task of having to close those last few yards with the enemy. Clearly, the central theme and intent of Faithful Warriors is to underscore the close-up human side of battle with all its anxieties.